Still to this day, the Chernobyl power plant explosion is said to be the worst nuclear disaster in history. The explosion has had lasting effects to this day, and the area is still considered hazardous to visit.
But those brave souls that have dared to go there have come across some pretty terrifying things, which we'll be looking at in today's video.
From toxic radiation-eating fungus to weird mutated animals. Let's talk about this and more only in today's video.
Top 10 dark things found in Chernobyl.
Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and look who I have beside me. It's a face that you don't know. Do we want to know who he is?
Oh, look at that. We even got a pun for today. I like it. Thanks very much, Lindsay.
You're welcome.
Hi everyone, my name is Dewey Stewart. You can find me on Instagram at DeweyStew if you want to get to know me a little bit more. But for now, I'm the new guy here and I'm loving every day.
All right, let's get on with the video.
Starting us off at number 10 is an abandoned carnival. Now, I have always known carnivals to be very upbeat and happy places, but I think it's safe to say after toxic radiation, they ain't so fun. Just a mile and a quarter away from the Chernobyl power plant is the small town of Pripyat. Pripyat was the town where most workers at Chernobyl lived and raised their families prior to the famous blast. Obviously, that is not the case anymore. What is now left of this once popular carnival is a decaying Ferris wheel, bumper cars surrounded by overgrown vines, and an old rusty skeleton of a merry-go-round. It is said that the amusement park was set to open on May 1st, just 5 days after the Chernobyl incident occurred, but the people of Pripyat needed something to do while the reactor was melting down, so the town opened up the amusement park on April 27th. How charming. Nothing more sweet and fun than you and your family enjoying a beautiful Ferris wheel ride that sweeps in and out of toxic radiation. It's the little things in life.
In our 9th spot today, we have the ghosts. A number of people lost their lives over this terrible disaster, and it's believed that their souls are still around, haunting Pripyat. This one story in particular will give you the chills. It was told by nuclear physicist Andrei Karsukov. He visited the area in 1997 and claims he encountered a ghost. So when he arrived, he went to the power station and went to the number 4 reactor. That's where the explosion occurred. Now, he was there taking radiation readings when all of a sudden he heard someone screaming for rescue from a fire coming from inside. He said that it was impossible for someone to be inside of the old reactor room. For starters, the door requires a password and a handprint. And not only that, it would have tripped an alarm if someone managed to get inside. Yet, the screaming was clearly coming from inside. It sounded like someone was desperately trying to escape. So he might have heard the ghostly cries from someone who lost their life in the power plant explosion. Isn't that scary? I think so.
Number 8, silhouettes of missing townspeople. Before I go any further on this one, let me just say that these silhouettes are not actually of real people left after the blast. A couple of sneaky and daring graffiti artists said to be from Germany and Belarus snuck into the radiation zone and thought it would be a good idea to spray paint silhouettes of people who once lived in this beautiful little community. So these pieces more or less resemble what once was rather than resembling actual humans from the town. That being said, there are some unique silhouettes through the radiation zone, such as a little girl with pigtails reaching for a light switch in a random abandoned room. Somewhere outside, a boy pulling a truck towards a corner of the building, as well as silhouettes of random people dancing, and to finish it off, a small group of children jumping together in terror of the blast. Pretty morbid, if you ask me. Whether these silhouettes are based on specific real people or not, these random silhouettes are definitely a haunting thing to see, and I don't want to see them.
Coming in at number 7, we have the Bloody Red. The Bloody Red, or the Red Forest, is the name given to the forest area around Chernobyl. Why is it called that? Well, this area received a lot of radiation fallout. As a result, the trees turned this bright orange color and then died. Nowadays, not a single tree can grow there anymore. In fact, this area is considered the most radioactive land area on the planet. Yes, on the planet. Obviously, as a result, the 400 hectares of land are off limits. It's strictly prohibited to go in there. I mean, duh, unless you have a death wish and want to die from exposure to radiation. What's also scary is that in 2015, a fire broke out in the forest, and even more radioactive material was released from this burning. So yeah, that forest is a big no-go zone. Also, could they have given it a creepier name, like the Bloody Red? Really? Really?
Coming in at number 6 are piles of creepy dolls. Creepy dolls! I have seen plenty of horror films in my time, and nothing creeps me out more than a creepy, probably possessed old doll. All through Pripyat, piles of dolls and doll heads can be seen in the randomest of places. Everywhere from windowsills, piles of debris, bed frames, tree branches, literally everywhere. Now, some of these dolls may be left over from the blast, but odds are they are all placed there by cheeky horror fans wanting to place their own touch on the Chernobyl site. Some of these are even propped up in specific poses with gas masks on. Annabelle, if you're watching this, you stay in your glass box. You got that?
We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the Hospital of Death. This is said to be the deadliest hospital on the planet. So after the nuclear disaster, this hospital began quickly filling up with a number of sick and injured citizens. Nowadays though, obviously the hospital is abandoned. But the basement of the hospital contains a dark secret. In the basement, there are piles of first responders' clothing. These clothings belong to the first responders like the firemen who were on the scene immediately after the explosion. Obviously, the clothing they wore when they rushed into the building is now highly contaminated, and still to this day emit dangerously high levels of radiation. So they were just dumped in the basement because they didn't know where else to get rid of it. In fact, the radiation in this building is 4,000 times higher than normal. It's crazy.
Number 4, radiation-eating fungus. In the words of Jeff Goldblum, life finds a way. Currently, there is a fungus growing inside the damaged 4th reactor of Chernobyl where radiation levels are still insanely high. Discovered by scientists back in 2002, this fungus, when tested, showed that when exposed to higher ionizing radiation, it would actually grow faster. What happened to the tested fungus after? Who knows? Either way, I do wish I could have been there to test it with the other scientists because I hear they were some pretty fun guys. I'll show myself out.
In our 3rd spot today, we have the mutated animals. The Chernobyl nuclear disaster had devastating, lasting effects. The nuclear material leaked into the soil, contaminating food and water. In fact, the radioactive materials leaked into pastures and was eaten by cows, and then was later found in their milk that children were drinking. But let's talk more about these farm animals that were affected. There were tons of weird mutated animals born near the disaster zone after this incident. Pigs, goats, and horses were born with messed up faces and extra limbs, or were just weird colors. Nowadays, there's a lot of stray dogs that roam the area. Sadly, because of their exposure to the radiation, they don't live a long life, and they may have a number of health issues.
Coming in at number 2 is quite possibly the strangest but most obvious thing you will find in all of Chernobyl. Tourists! Apparently, around 12,000 tourists visit the exclusion zone every single year. One tourism company promises 11 hours of excitement with a respirator and a dosimeter included. There are even some nearby hotels that request you leave your radioactive shoes outside and don't bring them into the hotel with you once you return. No matter how safe or unsafe you think it is to visit the exclusion zone, quite obviously thousands of people from around the world go and visit every single year. Honestly, it does seem kind of cool, and I'm sure there's a gift shop somewhere that sells shirts that say, I went all the way to Chernobyl and all I got was this shirt and an extra thumb. I'd buy that. Hey Lizzie, you want to go to Chernobyl with me?
No.
Okay.
And in our number 1 spot today, we have the stalkers. This is absolutely insane. I don't think you guys are ready for this one. But the Stalkers is the name given to a group of Russians and Ukrainians that romanticize the apocalyptic environment of Pripyat. They sneak into abandoned buildings and explore them. Sometimes they even sleep over there. Also, to make matters weirder, they bring a gauger counter to see how much radiation they were exposed to on their journeys. Not only that, but apparently they also like to eat the fruit that grows in the danger zone. Like, this is their definition of fun, and they just love it. I highly recommend you don't do this, for a number of obvious reasons. But like I said, the stalkers love this.
There you have it. Those are our top 10 dark things found in Chernobyl. Gotta be honest with you, I don't think I actually want to go to Chernobyl because I have enough thumbs as it is, and those piles of dolls actually freak me the heck out.
Yeah, they're terrifying. Like, I've seen the photos of them. That's gross.
Yeah.
No. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Which one of these points creeped you out the most? And now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. We'll be shouting out comments from the video, top 10 real alien encounters caught on camera. So Deb Richardson commented, I heard that they had a real alien on the movie Predator. There's no way.
What?
Can you imagine if like those aliens were real? We're like, oh my god, those are terrifying, and they're actually real?
I mean, I can believe it after all the stuff that's coming out right now. Maybe.
It's so scary.
Evelyn Garcia, give me a shout out, please. Hey, Evelyn, how's it going?
There you go. There's your shout out from
Thanks
the
for
one and
commenting.
only Dewey. MW commented, imagine having a beer or soda with an alien. Would you have a beer or soda with an alien? Really?
Those are the best conversations.
I don't know. If it was like the alien from the movie Paul, did you see Paul? It's like the comedy.
I did see Paul. That's an old one.
It's a good one.
That's a
But if it
throwback.
was like Paul, then I'd be like, that's so chill. Let's just
Totally.
vibe. But if it's a scary one for Predator, then no.
M, please, Anon. Don't worry about aliens. Most of them are good. You know what? I agree with that. I think most of them are good.
I feel like this is an alien that wrote that. They're like, don't worry, we're good. Aliens are good. And then they just come in and they kill us.
And I totally buy that too. You know what? Sorry.
He's the first one to go, okay? That's what you gotta trust me. You gotta. Alright guys, that's all the comments we're shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in our next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan.
I've been your host, Dewey Stewart. Have a great day, everyone.
And I'll see you when I see ya. Hey everyone.
Hello.
Alright. Chernobyl.
Sorry, brain fart. Here we go. Cool. That being said, there are some unique silhouettes through the radiation truck towards and pulling. Let's do that again.
Editors, we need to keep in that blooper of please, just I'll do the ending and then just have Doobie like sha sha sha. The bloody red is the bloody red. I know, that's what I do. I make like bird noises too. I'm like all right.
Annabelle, if you're watching this, you stay in your glass box. You got that?
You too, Chucky. You ain't going anywhere. I'm the one that tells the puns. Not this guy. Get him out of here. He's gonna take my spot. The nuclear material leaked into
So that way, but what was even that? Let's do that again. There you have it. Those are our top 10 dark things.
Do it again.
You want me to do it again?
Yeah.
Chernobyl.
Yeah, Chris, don't screw up. Jesus.